Prosecutors say Angelika Graswald told authorities it felt good knowing her fiance was going to die. The DA telling the judge at her bail hearing that those remarks were a confession. Graswald is the woman accused of tampering with her fiance's kayak during an outing on the Hudson River. Her fiance is presumed to have drowned. His body has not officially been found, although Poughkeepsie police say they did find a male body in the Hudson River yesterday. That body has not yet been identified. Well, Graswald's attorneys blame her remarks on a language barrier. They say the Latvian native still struggles with English. Let's take it up with our legal panel today. Diana Eisman is a former prosecutor. Ashley Merchant is a criminal defense attorney. Thanks to both of you for joining us today.
Thank you, John.
Let me put on the screen what prosecutors say she officially told them. She said it felt good knowing he was going to die. If that's the case, it doesn't get any more clear than that it's a murder confession, Diana, does it?
That's exactly right. It is exactly a murder confession. Her own statements create both the motive and the confession in that she says she was relieved when he died. She waited 25 minutes before calling for help once he capsized. Witnesses say that she capsized her own kayak to make it look like she was trying to save him. And then the kicker is there is a huge life insurance policy that she stands to gain from if he dies. And all of that together presents a major upper hand for the prosecution in this case.
There are pictures of her with her fiance. He was a construction foreman, apparently, made a pretty good living, but happened to have $250,000 worth of life insurance policies for which she was the beneficiary. If a jury needs motive, Ashley, that's a pretty good one.
That's a very strong motive, and I'd be very interested to see whose body this was, because I think the prosecution also needs a body. Now, there's evidence that she tampered with his kayak, but we haven't heard exactly how she tampered with his kayak. And all these so-called confessions that she made, they could be things that were just taken out of turn. They could be statements that the police made that she just simply nodded her head to, or affirmed that, yes, she agreed with something the police were saying. That doesn't mean that those words actually came out of her mouth. Until we actually can hear this whole confession, we don't really know what the substance of that conversation was, whether or not the language barrier might have affected what she was telling police or what she was agreeing with.
Well, Angelika Graswald originally came to this country as an au pair. She's from Latvia. Her lawyer says she's one of those people who doesn't speak English real well. If she hears you saying something, she'll kind of nod her head in agreement. And that's really what this confession is all about. What do you think about that, Diana?
The statements that she was nodding her head in agreement with were definitive and presented evidence that she not only caused the death, that she also was relieved when it happened. And that's really problematic for her. It's going to be difficult for her to convince a jury that she was nodding in agreement with those statements. Those were unequivocal statements admitting her guilt.
If we are to believe her statements, Ashley, why is she only charged with second-degree murder? This sounds like something premeditated. This sounds like a first-degree case.
Right, and they could definitely increase the charges if those were statements that she made. What it sounds like was, though, that she was agreeing with those statements, and so we've got to get to the heart of the issue, whether or not she actually planned this out, how she tampered with the kayak, if she did tamper with the kayak, and then I think the charges could definitely be elevated to premeditated murder if she actually planned it out and wanted him to die in this manner and it wasn't just an accident.
Well, she is still in jail, bail set at $3 million cash or $9 million bond. Sounds like she's going to be there for a while. We will keep our viewers updated on this case, and if they make an identity on that body, we'll certainly let people know. Thank you both.